Hello, so I'm going to be doing a very deep video. I have not done many of my PTSD awareness and kind of deep talk videos. So I'm going to be talking about desensitization and suppression because who I talked to at school, she made it very obvious that my key thing that I've learned to do from my experience is suppress things, and I'm kind of very good at just acting as if such a big event is so usual and normal, if that makes sense. Like, I've kind of taught myself to not react and think that everything's not actually as serious as it is. I feel like every time I tell someone what happened to me, I feel like that is where my validation comes from. I don't normally get to feel validated because there's not a lot of people that will understand child trauma and the effects of it. So I think getting that reaction from people when I tell them, it kind of says to me like, oh, okay, what you went through was quite serious actually. Like, you need to actually realize that this shit is real and it is serious, no matter how much I try and suppress it and be like, it's okay. Because I had a meeting with this woman a few months ago and she said, I'm sorry this happened to you. And I was like, it's fine. And she was like, no, it's not fine. And I'm like, it's okay, don't worry. And she's like, it's not okay, stop saying that. But I think that's kind of a usual response to anything. You just kind of go, it's fine, I've dealt with it for a while, so it's fine. Because to me, it's it's okay, it's happened, I've grown from it and I'm learning and I'm trying to move forward. So it is okay that it happened to me, although it's not. It's okay because I'm dealing with it. People are getting annoyed almost because I'm not giving reactions. I'm kind of, like I said, I think in my last video, I'm kind of gone. I'm away with the fairies, mate. I'm not reacting to people and I'm not reacting to certain situations. I think people are getting annoyed because why are you not reacting? And I feel like no matter what happens at the moment, I'm very monotoned, just is what it is. No matter how bad the situation is, I'm just people have had it worse. I don't feel anything. I am letting things out by crying, but it's very, very short intervals of crying, maybe once every couple of days. So I'm not really letting any emotion out and I'm not really understanding how I feel. And I think trauma is very, very confusing because you just feel confused. Obviously this applies to me, and obviously if it applies to you, it applies to you. If you don't feel confused, you don't feel confused, babe, don't worry. But I just get so confused, and it's the one emotion I attach to it. I don't have any emotions attached to what happened to me. No emotion, no anger, no disgust, nothing that people would usually feel towards someone if they was to hear my story and be like, oh, okay, that's fucking disgusting. I don't sit here and think fucking disgusting and get all angry and get all annoyed. I just sat here I don't know. I really don't. And I think people get a bit are you okay? No, I'm not okay. But it doesn't mean that I need to be angry or I need to be really frustrated and show my anger and stuff, because that's just not what I'm gonna do. And I process it in a very weird way that I just don't know what's going on. I don't know if I block it out to protect myself. I'm often very confused. I often don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know what's on my mind. I don't know where I'm at in my head, what I want to do. It's all very blurry in my brain normally when going through anything to do with that situation and just being quite mentally down. I've had a lot of mental health struggles, especially since starting secondary, which all seem to lead to this situation. The root cause of all my behaviours that are abnormal, or I think about, or I think that's not really right, do seem to link to what I went through. It micromanages your life. You sit there and think, how can something still affect me? But there is no timeline, and I think that's difficult when you don't know when you'll get better, or you don't know if you'll get better in this certain amount of time. You don't know if you'll ever feel like you've gotten over it, or you've gone through it, or you've moved on. in terms of me, I think it's still gonna keep managing my life, even if it is in very, very little ways. And I think it's very frustrating because, like, how can, like, it's annoying when something like that, so negative, can just manage your life like that in such little everyday ways. And you don't really want that, because it's just awful. Like, even though he's not around, the situation is definitely done, it still creeps up on me every single day, and he's up there living his life. I do have a lot of down moments, and normally I get stuck in them and I don't get myself out of them. I give myself time, but I get very stuck in that kind of mindset of, like, I feel really shit, I don't know what to do, I don't feel motivated, I don't know how to get out, I don't know whether to leave school, but then I know if I leave school I'll be at home and I'll still feel the same, and I'll feel stuck and I want to go out, and then I know that I won't go out because I don't want to spend money. Like, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. So I end up thinking about, like, just giving up for so long that I'm already, like, at the end of the school day. So it is just a lot of hurdles you have to go over when it comes to going through something traumatic, and it gets very lonely. I think, especially with the mental repercussions, like where I get so, I would say depressed, where I get so depressed, I feel so alone. And I think because it's linked, or like I think the root cause is this situation, no one else, it's not like no one else goes through it, but there's not someone I'm gonna find and then just be able to talk to them, apart from maybe adults at school, like the woman I talk to. But it's just so difficult to talk to people when they don't get it, and you know that you don't know what people go through, and obviously you can't go up to someone and be like, did you go through this as a child? Like, it is quite heavy. And obviously I'm fine to talk about it, but you don't really know anyone around you that's been through the same thing, which sucks because it's so lonely. PTSD it is talked about, but it ain't. There's still a lot of awareness that needs to go around with the whole topic, and especially to do with childhood trauma, because there's a lot of links to childhood trauma linked to criminality and to the abused becoming the abuser. And I think definitely in my case that's not true. Either way, I'm not a criminal and I'm not the abuser, but sadly it does happen. But therapy is not always enough, and this is why it's really frustrating. Therapy alone, for me, I don't think it's going to do it. It is, unfortunately, like, up to you as well. And I think that doesn't mean that you have to be actively doing things, but it means that you need to be less harsh on yourself and give yourself time, because it just sucks. And I think with the whole suppression part of this video, I feel your emotions get pushed down so much because it's like you went through something, and the reason you're suppressing it is because you know you've been through worse. So I know, oh, I've been through so much worse, and like, this is nothing. Even though it might actually hurt you a lot, you might say, don't care, you know. When you do care, babe, you do. It's just really weird. It's a difficult thing to navigate, and I just want anyone that's going through it, don't feel alone. If you feel confused, you feel confused. If you feel lonely, you feel lonely. There's other people that will feel similar to how you feel, even if it's not exactly the same. The statistics are mental. I'm pretty sure it's like 1 in 6 kids are abused, or something stupid like that. Like, that is ridiculous. That's like a lot. Like, if you think, if you're in a classroom of say 30 kids, 5 of you, if you go by statistics, have been. In general, I'm very desensitized to things. It kind of lowers my empathy, but that's not because I don't feel bad. It's just like, I know there is worse, and I know that sounds really selfish, but I just naturally have less empathy sometimes, where I'm like, there's so much worse going on with other people. And I think when you've been through such extreme events, everything is so little. Everything's kind of like, like, or obviously you can go very vulnerable, and I do feel very vulnerable, especially at the moment, but that's all I can say, just a massive sigh. But yeah, I really hope anyone that's watching this doesn't feel alone, because you're not. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I really hope this was some help and some awareness, because there's no better person to speak about this topic than someone who's going through it. And I think professionals, fair enough, they could say whatever, but when it's coming from someone that's been through shit, then you know, okay, it's based off real experience. Thank you for watching.